Okay, so you've probably heard the name Jordan Belfort, right? Maybe you've even seen the movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. But what if I told you his infamous system wasn't just about selling penny stocks? What if it's actually a fundamental blueprint for persuasion, one that every single one of us uses every single day, whether we even realize it or not? Let's get into it. Right off the bat, let's just get one thing straight. You might be thinking, I'm not a salesperson. And you might not have that title, but I guarantee you, you are absolutely in the business of persuasion. Mastering this one skill, honestly, it can fundamentally change pretty much every outcome in your personal and your professional life. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at Belfort's reinvention. Then we'll talk about why this stuff applies to absolutely everyone. We'll unpack his core straight line system, then get into the elements that make it work. We'll zero in on the incredibly critical first 4 seconds, and then we'll finish up with a key takeaway you can start using, well, today. Now, look, we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Jordan Belfort made a fortune. And yeah, a lot of it was through illegal and unethical means, no question. But after serving his time, he came back with a mission to actually codify his methods into an ethical system that could be used as a force for good. And this is exactly why this system matters to you, even if you never sell a thing for a living. The ability to ethically persuade, let's just call it influence, is honestly one of the most vital skills you can ever develop. This isn't about manipulation. It's about clear, effective communication that gets you to a win-win outcome. And this quote it nails the point perfectly. I mean, think about it. Are you trying to convince your kids to do their homework? Debating with your partner over sushi or pizza for dinner? Trying to get your boss on board with a new idea? That's persuasion. That's influence. It is the invisible architecture of pretty much all our daily interactions. So, how do you persuade effectively? Well, Belfort distilled his entire method into something he calls the straight line system. And the name, it really says it all. It's about getting from point A to point B with purpose and efficiency in your communication. Think of it like you're on a road trip. You have a starting point and you have a destination. The straight line system is basically your GPS, keeping you on the most direct route. Now, you can briefly pull over to enjoy the view. That's just building rapport. But you can't get lost on all these scenic detours that lead nowhere. The goal is to always be guiding the conversation back to that main road. And visually, it's really this simple. On the left, that's the moment you start talking. On the right, that's your goal, getting to a yes. Your entire job as the persuader is to just move the conversation along this line, expertly handling any attempts to wander off into territory that doesn't matter. Okay, but how do you actually move someone along that line? According to Belfort, it all comes down to building this overwhelming sense of certainty in the other person's mind. And there are 5 core elements you absolutely need to manage to do it. These are the 3 main pillars we're about to dive into. This foundational concept he calls the 3 tens, and then 2 super crucial psychological levers, the action threshold and the pain threshold. So this is huge. For someone to say yes, they need to feel a 10 out of 10 level of certainty about 3 things. 1, they have to absolutely love your idea. 2, they have to trust and connect with you. And 3, they have to trust the company or the group you represent. Why all 3? Well, think about it. If any one of them is weak, the whole structure of trust just collapses. If they love the idea but they don't trust you, guess what? They'll just go buy it from someone else. Now, what's really fascinating here is that certainty isn't just one thing. You have to build logical certainty, the rational, numbers-driven case. But, and this is crucial, you also have to create emotional certainty. That's the gut feeling that this just feels right. Remember, people almost always buy on emotion first, and then they use logic to justify the decision to themselves and to everybody else later. Next up are the 2 thresholds. Let's use an example to make this really clear. Imagine you're convincing a friend to join you at the gym. Their action threshold is their natural resistance. They're tired, the couch is comfy. Your goal is to lower that threshold by making the gym sound fun and easy and not a big deal. At the same time, you want to raise their pain threshold. What does that mean? It means subtly amplifying the discomfort of their problem, gently reminding them how they've been wanting to get in shape and feel more energetic. So you lower the barrier to act, and you raise the urgency to act. See how that works? But here's the kicker. This entire powerful system, the straight line, the 3 tens, all of it, can be completely and utterly useless if you fail in the very first moment of an interaction. Everything, and I mean everything, hinges on what happens right at the start. You get 4 seconds. That's it. A human brain makes a subconscious judgment in a fraction of a second, and you have just 4 ticks of the clock to seize control of the interaction and earn the right to even be heard. If you miss this window, you are fighting an uphill battle that you will almost certainly lose. In those 4 seconds, your tone of voice and your energy must instantly convey 3 things. 1. You're sharp as a tack and you are not going to waste their time. 2. You are enthusiastic as hell. Genuine passion is contagious. It signals you have something valuable. And 3, you're an authority figure, an expert who can actually help them solve a problem. So this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually start applying it? Let's move to our final section and see how this all builds into something you can use the moment we're done here. The single most powerful thing you can take away from all this is that becoming a better persuader doesn't start with memorizing lines or anything like that. It starts with becoming consciously aware of how you already communicate. Just start paying attention to your energy, your tonality, and the immediate impression you know you're making. So I'll just leave you with this. The next time you start a conversation, I don't care if it's with a colleague, a client, a friend, your partner, just ask yourself, what impression am I making in those first 4 seconds? Do I sound sharp, enthusiastic? Do I sound like an expert worth listening to? Because simply becoming aware of that answer, that is the first giant step to mastering the art of influence in your own life.